And welcome back to this week's episode of the Broken Kid Podcast. Go ahead and write in the comment section first and foremost, how many of you are single? And if no viewers are watching this, then I guess it's because you have either better things to do than watch my videos, or you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend. But anyhow, as you can imagine, as you read the thumbnail, it's about how dating is brutal, how dating is like a war zone. You might as well be in a jungle with Freddie Mercury and Elton John, and then in there throw in Kevin Spacey, Bill Cosby, who else? Jeffrey Epstein, and whatever else, whichever deviant you can think of, because that's what dating is like. And I'm also straight, but what I mean is, like, I pursue girls, and it's just a nightmare. You're better off just staying alone. And I was talking to a Christian friend, and he was telling me about he's like, you need to find a church girl. And it made me so mad because, first of all, I am spiritual and religious, but I'm not a devoted person to the extreme where I don't, I cuss, I sometimes smoke, I play GTA 5, and I use the strip club simulator before there was even such thing, because GTA 5 was ahead of its time, and that's not the first introduction of strip clubs. But what I'm saying is, I'm okay playing GTA 5 after if I did go to church. And I actually recently stopped going to a church, and I think I'm just going to pursue God in my own way. But that whole thing about pursuing a godly woman, it's a terrible idea, because they're sheltered, they're boring, they're never down to do anything adventurous. And by adventurous, I mean, like, nothing, you know what I mean, a little but they don't want to do that. They don't want to do it until marriage, and it's too much. And also, I have my tattoos and my piercings, and there's so much facade work that goes in dating. Like, so many people want to be mysterious and aloof because they think that's what's going to attract a person, as opposed to showing real, genuine interest. Hey, I thought you were very cute, and I wanted to see if you possibly wanted to go get a cup of coffee because I saw your shirt, and I like that band too, and maybe we could talk about other things. And then the other person could say yes, and then you swap numbers and you continue to talk, and then it leads to a date. But the problem is that gap in which we need to find a shorter period to bridge the gap between texting and meeting in person. And of course, not at your house. Most likely, it's very rare that a first date should be at your house, because I did that once and it was horrible. Because it was horrible, and because of that, I think I don't want to be seen as a novelty or like a one-time ride, because to a lot of people, and I've said this before on the podcast, I don't want to be treated like a roller coaster where you ride me once and then get off of me, never to do it again. I want a partner who's going to keep coming back and who's going to want to say yes. And of course, I have to say yes too. And a big part of that is, compatibility. How do we get along? Do we have similar values? And another part of that is, are we actually going to say what we want? Are we going to do what we're going to say? And a good song is like Follow Through by Gavin DeGraw. He talks about, following through. Like, yes, this feeling is nice. This feeling is great. But are we going to actually commit to the actions that are going to make a relationship? Because it's one thing to say I love you. It's another thing to say, hey, I'm here to listen to you and not judge. And I think in this world of dating, this period of, dating might be dead forever. Love is dead. Love is like death. And if I sound cynical, it's because I am. So recently, I've been trying to go on a few dates. You get the number, but it never really transpires into anything. It's just a ghosting session, like a ghost. And I've been ghosted so many times, I'm starting to feel like a dead spirit. You just start to think about all the things that could be different, or what could you do different. And maybe it's just a matter of putting yourself out there. It's a numbers game. If you're on rejection 30, it sounds rudimentary and like a cliche, but it really is a numbers game. I don't know how many more times I have to go through this, but you just have to kind of be proactive. Don't just think, oh, I'm gonna magically, some girl's gonna come up to me. You also have to initiate talk and say, hey, I really like your shoes. They're very cute. They look good on you. Or that might be too much to say in the beginning, but hey, I saw you and I just that's a cool. Well, you can say, like, if they have a band tee and a band T-shirt, you can say, hey, I love that. What have you seen them in person, or what's your favorite song? An icebreaker, the ice. It sounds, back in the day, icebreakers were so common. Now everybody's so afraid to be normal. They just kind of don't want to talk. They don't want to approach anyone. And what's the downside of giving a compliment to one person, and if it doesn't lead anywhere? It's just a compliment. It's just a compliment. And Matthew Hussey, this dating expert on YouTube, talks about this idea of how much are you willing to give and lose. Maybe you can swap numbers, and you talk and you say, hey, do you want to go on a date? And it doesn't transpire. You have to cut it off. You have to cut your losses and zoom, because you don't want to keep investing into something that is never gonna really transpire at all. And I think the best thing you can do in those situations, because there are gonna be far more of those than the yeses, and because of that, I think maybe we have to be more honest with ourselves, so that we can, just go on to the next, and on to the next. If it doesn't work, and on to the next. And a big part of it is compatibility, but it's like a jungle out there. You just don't know what you're gonna get. And then dating apps are a whole other world, because I've met, their bio says they're ready for a relationship, but you can't really take that for serious, until you meet the person, and you have to actually hang out. Texting isn't hanging out. It's a tool, but it should be a small tool. And that's been my trouble, but I just don't know when I'm gonna find somebody who's gonna be up my alley. And also I have other commitments, and that could be a hindrance too. Like my goals and my future aspirations could be a thing that may not align with them. So you have to be very upfront about it. But I think a lot of people don't want to do that, and because of that, having conversations that are difficult but could create clarity, that could further the relationship into a better area, or realistically end it. I think we need to have more of those, but it's scary out there. And I would never date a church girl unless that church girl had piercings and tattoos and stuff, and she listened to Paramore. And I have a crush on the front woman of Paramore, which is Hayley Williams, and I'm waiting for my Hayley Williams. I'm hoping that they will come soon. And also, especially maybe before Halloween, not so I can have somebody to dress up with, but just, because Halloween is my favorite day of the year and whole month, October. That's why I have Summerween. But that being said, don't lose faith. Try and try and try and try as hard as it is. It's 11 o'clock and I'm still recording my YouTube videos. It's worth it. It's all going to pay off. That being said, thank you for those who are watching, and I hope you enjoy and have a great time, and stay safe out there, okay? And that's it for this episode of the Broken Kid Podcast. And welcome back to this week's episode of the Broken Kid Podcast. If the setup looks a little different, then it's because it is, and you're not hallucinating. But to get straight to the point, I don't like to ask for things, but I'm in a competition, and it's for Halloween, and there's a link below. I'm going to keep it pretty short and simple. All you have to do is click the link, and if you have a Facebook account, you can go ahead and just do a simple vote. It takes about 30 seconds. So maybe this is catering to the wrong people. I should be catering to your grandma or your aunts and uncles who do have Facebook. But if you do have it, go ahead and click the link below. And it's pretty much just a contest, a little contest where you could, win a few prizes, but it's for the face of Halloween. And I'm a big fan of Halloween, and if you would like to do that, go ahead and feel free to check out the profile. There's a few pictures up there. I want to upload more.
But if you feel like it's beckoning you to simply just do a simple thing, I would greatly appreciate it. And that's all I'm asking. And if you don't want to, that's totally fine. But we're gonna go to the normal production in a few days where I'm gonna be uploading normal videos. And I just wanted to throw that opportunity out there. And to anybody who does vote, I appreciate it. And I appreciate your support. And I just want to say to have a good night. And I hope that things go well in your life. Thank you.